Hey, what is going on guys? Welcome everyone back to another video. Hopefully you're all enjoying your day. As you can see by the title, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be looking at the game called Hell Let Loose. So this game has recently got quite a bit of publicity because the game just looks pretty awesome. Something a little bit fresh in the gaming scene. And from what I've seen on news publications, we're talking like some big publication sites, they're talking about this game being the better version of Call of Duty World War II. As soon as I saw that, I saw some other news articles saying to basically forget about Call of Duty World War II and have a look at this game. And I decided to have a look at this game, and from a person who plays Call of Duty a lot, I'll kind of be comparing a little bit and telling you what I think of both games. So starting off, I've played the beta of Call of Duty World War II. The game Hell Let Loose is not actually out yet. The beta comes out next year and the open beta comes out later next year as well. So that's the first thing I have to address. I don't know what it actually plays like, but I do know what it will be like, judging by the gameplay, because it does look pretty awesome. Starting off, what is Hell Let Loose? Now, Hell Let Loose is actually a realistic World War II basically simulator. I guess that's what some people like to say. But on their website, they call it more or less a strategic meta game that is not an arcade shooter. So don't expect it to be like Call of Duty where you're running around in a small map, killing multiple people, getting kill streaks, because this game is all about teamwork, all about strategy. And what it features is 100 players. So there's 50 players on each team. There's infantry, there's tanks, there's artillery, and there's like shifting front lines where people push up, people push down. So it's quite awesome how it's such a big environment. Obviously, compared to Call of Duty World War II, the maps are small. I don't know if people really like the maps being small or big, but as a game that Call of Duty is, it's super fast paced. You're getting kill streaks. Overall, it is an arcade shooter. And this is where Hell Let Loose comes in differently. It's more or less a simulation game where everything is on a mass scale. From what I know, there's only one map, and this map is a realistic map, which is what you're seeing in the gameplay. I'm pretty sure it's built off the Google Maps or something like that, and it is just realistic, so that's pretty awesome. Secondly, what a lot of people like to talk about in this game is the graphics. So this game is built on the Unreal Engine. The Unreal Engine has powered games like PUBG, Fortnite, and a bunch of other games. You've probably played them before. I'm not really sure any more games that are powered on it, but it does look amazing, and so does Call of Duty World War II. You can't really argue anything with the graphics too much, but what I will say is that I do feel like Hell Let Loose does have an edge over obviously Call of Duty World War II because it is on a better looking engine. So the actual map design of Hell Let Loose is a bit different because, as I said, it is pitted with 50 players put together where they're obviously fighting each other, and basically obviously you got to fight to the death. There's lots of fields, there's bridges, there's forests, there's towns, basically everything you'd expect in a full-scale combat. So this game is very similar to the game Squad, if you've ever seen it on Steam or if you've purchased it. It's quite similar to that, where you know you have a ton of teammates with you, you're pushing together. And let me say that these maps are about 4 kilometers squared in size, way bigger than Battlefield 1. If you think Battlefield 1 is big, this game is 20 times bigger than that probably. And what's interesting is that this game has removed all modern gameplay incentives. That's what they say on their Kickstarter page, because they don't care about how many kills you get. They don't care about any perks being unlocked. They don't care about any guns being unlocked, because the game is about using teamwork and communication for players to basically come together, try to win. And what's interesting is that there's different roles to play as well. They have historic, accurate weapons. They got logistics. They got armors, different type of armors you can use. There's tons of tactics that the commanders can use as well. So basically, it's about teamwork, communication, to not only to win, but to basically survive within the game. So now, moving over to the interesting stuff, what we're going to be looking at is this game, as I said, doesn't have any creator classes, doesn't have any perks, but what it does have is roles. So in this game, players will be able to use like 13 different roles. Now, each of these assemble different counterparts with the same ammunition count, equipment, and capabilities, so they're all similar all around. So what you have is the commander. Now, the commander is the role. I don't know how many people can play as commander. I'm probably going to guess maybe 1 or 3 or 2 people. Obviously, they're going to be the people talking about tactics and stuff. I'm not really too sure, but the thing you got to remember with this game is that there's no HUD elements. There's no mini-map in the top left. Everything is pretty much invisible in terms of HUD overlays. The only thing you can see, I believe, is your teammates' name tags, which I think they may be possibly removing from what I've seen on Reddit. So there's the infantry roles to choose from. So these are officers, rifleman, anti-tank people, MG, assault, medic, engineer, and support. So there's a wide array of infantry to choose from. Now the engineer and officer roles are really interesting in this game because these roles have the ability to deploy and build a wide variety of fixed emplacement weapons and classic defenses. So they can place down minefields, they can place down turrets, they can place down all these things to help out the team as well, which is quite interesting. Then you have the recon roles, so these are the scouts and these are the snipers, and then you have the armor roles, so these are tank commanders and the crewmen, which is also quite interesting. So depending on what you like to play, you choose the role you want to do. I don't know how many people are allowed in each role. There's possibly maybe a limit to how much can be in each. I'm not really too sure, but here are the weapons that I've seen on the website so far. They got the Kark 98K, the MG42, the LMG, the MP40, the Thompson. They have a flamethrower in there, which is cool, and obviously some grenades and tacticals and stuff like that. So as you can see, really historic weapons. I can't remember if all the weapons in COD World War II are realistic, but in this game, there's not going to be any red dot sights or anything like that. And if you are wondering as well, when you shoot the weapons, it also jams as well. That may be annoying coming from like an arcade gamer's perspective, because obviously the gun may jam all the time. But apart from that, I mean, it adds to the experience, adds to the atmosphere. It does seem pretty cool. What's interesting on their website is also had an FAQ section. And one of the frequently asked questions is, will you censor Nazi imagery? So it says on their website that they will only censor this imagery where the territories and state laws say that it's a must. Obviously in Germany you have to, so it won't be there. I can't remember in World War II if there was a lot of Nazi imagery. I do believe they took some out. I can't really remember too much. But if you're not living in most European countries, I think you'll see most of the Nazi imagery. What they're trying to do is try really hard to make an accurate, historic World War II simulation. So if they have to censor it for state and law territory reasons, of course they will. And for gore, they also have an FAQ section on gore. Basically, they expect there to be tons of gore in here. So it says that to capture the horror of war with the expected damage of modern combat on the human body, including dismemberment, immolation, and bullet hits. So it's going to be just as good as World War II. I thought the guts and glory type of things in COD World War II was actually pretty good because they did upgrade it a little bit. So it will be in this game as well. Now, what's interesting with this game, which I thought was a definite plus, is that they will have 3 to 5 years extra support in the game. So when the game is released, they're going to be adding new stuff to it. 3 to 5 years, you only have to pay once. You don't have to pay any DLCs like Call of Duty. Everything will come out together. All these maps are amazing, but as we know, this game is on Kickstarter for now. So if they reach higher amount of goals, they will actually release new maps, I think, and stuff like that, which is awesome. So overall, the game seems awesome. Of course, it's meant to be realistic where you only die in a few bullets or so. So let me know what you think of this game. Would you prefer having a game with a huge map with a variety of roles where everything is really realistic to the whole World War II franchise? Or would you rather have the Call of Duty arcade style? I'm not saying either game is better. What I'm saying is if you like a type of game where teamwork is there, where there's a huge map, I would possibly say Hell Let Loose is your game. But if you prefer something, you know, arcadey, getting perks, getting kill streaks, having that nice feeling of just, you know, killing a lot of people, having fun, getting XP, all that type of stuff, then Call of Duty's for you. But nonetheless, this game is going to be, I think, around $30 US. To be honest, I thought it was going to be at least $70 or $80 when I saw all the features in this game. But it's going to be cheap. I'm definitely going to buy it. I'm definitely going to test it out because the open beta does come out late next year. So it's something to look at. I will put their website link in the description below so you can check it out and read it for yourself. It looks like a very promising game. And if anything, it could even make Call of Duty World War II step up their game, especially for a game that has a whole company behind them. Call of Duty, this game I don't think has that much people behind it developing, creating the graphics, doing all this stuff. So let me know what you think. I think both games are awesome. I can't wait to see what this game can do because if anything, it could probably push Call of Duty even in a way better direction than it is now, which would be absolutely sweet, because competition is never a bad thing between different games. So the link will be down below in the description if you do want to check out their website. The open beta does come out late next year, so I can't wait to try it because it does look cool. Let me know what you think about both games, and I will catch you guys later. Globe out.